Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our What's New at TravelJoy Fall 2025 webinar. My name is Caitlin. I'll be your host for today. I'm joined in the audience by a few friendly faces from the Joymaker team. We have Cody, Chelsea, and Heather. They'll be hanging out in the questions tab to help provide answers as we move through today's session. We also have three special guests from our engineering, product, and marketing teams, Mark, Andreas, and Matt, who will be joining us a little later on to share an exciting look into some brand new tools and upcoming features. Now, I'd like to share with you a little bit more about the TravelJoy team. We are a fully remote group of 32 folks spread out across the US and Canada. This group is made up of talented, hardworking individuals who are dedicated to providing you the most groundbreaking tools to help manage your business in one convenient platform. From our innovative engineering and product teams to our solution-driven support team, TravelJoy is paving the way to easier planning and less to-dos in your day-to-day. Now, in a recent trip to Chattanooga, Tennessee, we celebrated Global Travel Advisor Day by inviting real advisors who utilize TravelJoy every day to join our team to participate in the brainstorming of new tools and an in-depth fireside chat. This helped us further understand their day-to-day workflows, pain points, and their hopes for TravelJoy in the future. A lot of the features you'll see during this webinar started from these very conversations. I'm hoping some of those advisors are joining us today in the audience, and to them, I extend a special welcome. We truly appreciated the opportunity to learn from them, and we've continued to build on the knowledge they've shared with us. Now, as always, we have been hard at work these past few months, not only building individual features, but pushing our mission forward to bring the joy back into travel planning. For too long, travel advisors have been forced to juggle too many tabs, too many tools, and too many to-dos just to keep their business running. Our vision is to give you a centralized digital platform that puts your CRM, itineraries, payments, and other tools in one place, so you can spend less time on admin and more time creating amazing experiences for your clients. Now today, you'll see over 20 new improvements designed to streamline your workflow, updates like automated proposal, form, and payment reminders, and our new business overview reporting to stay on top of trends and sales at a glance. We're also giving you a sneak peek into a few things coming next. The future of TravelJoy isn't just about adding more individual features. It's about making your CRM, itineraries, payments, and automation tools even more powerful, more connected, and more intuitive, so that everything you need to run your business works together. That way you can spend more time doing what you love, creating unforgettable trips for your clients. Now, before we begin, I'd like to go over some light housekeeping for today's webinar. Number one, this webinar will be recorded and sent to you by email following the conclusion of today's event. If I go a bit too fast, not to worry, you'll be able to review the recording later at your own pace. This recording will also feature the questions tab and chat box from today's webinar. Number two, you'll notice that we do have the questions tab open and questions are welcome. To submit a question, please use the question tab just below the chat box. It's that little circle with the question mark in it. We are expecting a very large audience today, so we request that all questions be asked in the questions tab only, as questions asked in the chat tab may get lost quickly. We'll try our best to ensure you receive an answer to your question today. However, if we are unable to get everything answered in the allotted time, please feel free to reach out to us utilizing the blue chat button in the bottom right-hand corner of your TravelJoy account, or email us at hello@traveljoy.com. And third, the updates you'll see today all started as advisor feedback and feature requests. We love hearing your ideas. They shape everything we work on. The best way to share them is by emailing us at hello@traveljoy.com or using that little blue chat button, and we're happy to get that conversation started with the team from there. So take your notes and then send us an email so we can capture it all. With all this in mind, let's go ahead and jump in because we have a lot to cover today. We'll be moving through many different topics at a very quick pace. I couldn't be more excited to show you what our amazing team has created for you in the past few months. So let's get into it. I'm going to head over to my TravelJoy dashboard here. All right, so starting off with a brand new reporting option. So in the reports menu over here on the left-hand side, you may know that you have access to reporting tools that allow you to view your sales and commissions, funds, and transfers to your bank. But have you checked out the new overview report? It's the very first one up here. In this report, you get a bird's eye view of data and trends for your total sales, commissions, top trips, and top clients and suppliers. It's the perfect way to quickly understand how your business is performing at a glance, all in one place. Now, we do have a guide, and I'll be sharing lots of guides during today's session that I'm going to place in the chat. And as a reminder, you'll have access to that chat in the recording that's emailed to you after we conclude. And while we're talking about reporting, a small but impactful update has been made to your commissions and sales reports. You have lots of filtering options when you're viewing this report, but one that's been recently added is you can now view this report by this year. So you can see that option here. This is going to be available in your details, your trips, your clients, and your supplier tabs. Again, that's going to allow you to view that data based on the entire year, or this year rather, sorry. All right. Now, let's talk about automation. You may have noticed that your automations tab, which can be found underneath settings and automation, which gives you the tools to set and forget payment reminders, email confirmations, and task list management, has gotten an update. Not only does it have a new look, but it also has a few new tricks. So during your busiest seasons, the last thing that you want to be doing is manually tracking down overdue form responses, proposal approvals, and payments from your clients. We wanted to make this process easier for you, so we created more automated reminders, for forms and proposals and payments, letting you focus on your more pressing tasks at hand. So starting up here at the very top, we have the ability to automatically send payment reminders to clients, but the new trick here is you can add reminder messages. So if your client does not complete that payment in a certain amount of time, you can set a new email template, how far in advance you'd like that email to be triggered, and before or after the payment due date. You can add as many of these reminder messages as you need to. You can also manage proposal reminders and form reminders from this tab. Just turn these on, and you'll be able to select how far in advance you'd like this email to be sent if your client has not approved the proposal before then, and the email template you'd like to accompany it. The same goes for forms down here. Just turn it on and let it do the work for you. Now, these two features are also available from the Send a Form page, as well as your proposal. You can find those just by heading to the dashboard here and heading to a trip. So let's go ahead and send a form, and I'll show you how to create that reminder. We're going to use the blue Create button within our trip to send a form. And when we head to the Next button to review the email, we're going to see that ability to turn on that form reminder at the very end of the screen. So you'll be able to have that same amount of control, selecting how far in advance you'd like that email to go, and the email template that will accompany it. This also is possible from your proposals. We'll see a little bit more about this in our proposal section today. But if I create a smart proposal, you're going to see the ability to share the proposal, send it, and again, you have that ability to turn on those reminders right from that email send screen. I have quite a few guides to share with you about these tools, so I'm going to go ahead and place them in the chat now. And don't worry, we'll be coming back to this proposal tool in just a bit. All right. Click out of here, head back to our dashboard. Now let's talk a little bit about clients. So we'll be sharing a small update to our client profiles, as well as an exciting brand new feature in this section. So please stay tuned. So let's talk about the client relationship tab. I'm going to navigate to one of my clients here, open them up, and head to that relationships tab. Now, this is how you make note of how client profiles may be connected to one another. Think families, partners, friends. Previously, you could only note another client as connected, but now you have direct access to that related client's profile by clicking on this icon here. This will allow you to move quickly between related profiles and make updates as needed. I have another wonderful guide about this that I'll be posting in the chat now. All right, so now for that new feature that's coming very soon. You're going to like this. I'm going to invite our head of marketing, Matt, on screen to showcase what we call opportunities.
Thank you, Caitlin. So excited to be here today. Thank you, everybody, for coming. Hi, I'm Matt, the head of marketing here at TravelJoy. I'm based in New York City, and I joined the team in May of last year. So if you've received a marketing email from us since then, or watched one of our videos on the YouTube channel, or engaged with us on Facebook, that's been me. So hi, it's nice to put so many names to faces. Speaking of Facebook, this is a shameless plug. Leave it to the marketing person to take over the webinar to plug a marketing thing. But I do want to share the link to our Facebook page here in the chat. Now, if you don't follow us on Facebook, please go follow us there. That is where I do a lot of our real-time product updates, and we have a lot of great conversations in the chat section on each post. So please go follow us there if you haven't already. Okay, back to product stuff. So I want to talk a little bit about this feature coming soon called Opportunities. So this is a sneak preview. It will be coming to your account very soon, but let's talk about it. So as a marketer myself, I know how important it is to stay engaged with your client base. And definitely finding new leads is always going to be part of the game. But some of your best opportunities aren't in an Instagram ad or at a trade show. They're actually folks who have already traveled with you before. Some of them just need maybe a little nudge to think about planning another trip. But of course, that is easier said than done. That kind of one-to-one re-engagement can easily fall to the bottom of the to-do list. You've got to go into your database, figure out who to reach out to, think about what milestones might be coming up, and find something that makes sense. Well, good news. This new Opportunities tab is going to use AI to do so much of that database digging for you. It's going to surface smart, timely suggestions for clients who might be ready to plan their next trip. So let's dive in. You might see clients in here with birthdays or anniversaries coming up, clients who haven't booked in a while, or maybe just clients who loved their last trip and might be ready for another. Instead of spending hours combing through past bookings yourself, you can come in here and get a clear, simple list of who to reach out to and why. Let's talk about how you get into this. So when this goes live, you can get to it from two places. One, in your dashboard, you'll see this purple box where you can click into your client opportunities, or you can also get to it from your contacts tab in this opportunities tab that says beta right here. So you'll see up to 7 opportunities in your account to start. If you need a quick refresher on, say, a client's details, maybe the trip was a while ago and you kind of want to refresh what trip they took and what your conversations were like, you'll be able to click right back into their last trip and get a sense of, how things went and what you might want to bring up in your message to them. Otherwise, you'll be able to click right into the message and get the conversation going. Now, as you're engaging with your opportunities, you'll be able to give each one a thumbs up or a thumbs down. That feedback really helps us as we start to think about what the final version might look like. So please make sure you share that feedback with us. Also, as with all things AI, there could be inaccuracies, so just make sure you double check those details before you send anything out. So this is Opportunities. We're really excited about it. It will be in your account soon. Because here at TravelJoy, we're not just here to help you manage your business, we're here to help you grow it. So we hope that Opportunities helps you turn so many of those past clients into future bookings, and we're looking forward to hearing your feedback on it. That is me for now. Thank you so much, Caitlin, and thank you to all the members that are here. Please don't unsubscribe from your emails. It might hurt my feelings, but that's okay. Thank you so much. Been so great. See everybody later.
Thank you, Matt. If I do say so myself, that does sound like a pretty great opportunity.
Oh, funny.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. You may have gotten a sneak peek while Matt was getting started there of what we're going to talk about next, which is going to be a little bit about our group booking pages. Now, if you're not familiar with our tool group booking pages, you get a standalone web page that you build with a unique URL that can then be shared with your clients. From there, your clients will choose which package they're interested in, add on any extra offerings like excursions, fill out any form details you need, then complete a payment towards the booking. All of this information is then used to create a trip within your group automatically, taking a lot of manual work off your plate. Now, our group booking page tool has seen some major updates over the summer, and I can't wait to show you how they work. I'm going to be starting within a group now, and I'm going to be creating a group booking page supplier for this demonstration. So using that blue create button and group booking page. Now, this big update is going to be right here at the center of the page. We have the ability to now connect a group itinerary, bringing in that sleek professional look and feel of your proposals into this group booking page. You still have the ability to write a custom description, but highly recommend checking this out. So all you have to do to get started is give your group booking page a name. We'll say Fiji Adventure 2025. And then I'm going to use this option to connect a group itinerary. So once I click that button, I'm going to be able to click on this blue button, which is going to automatically create that itinerary for me, but there's still some work to do. I'm going to use the edit itinerary option, which is going to open that itinerary editing screen. So if you're familiar with this process, this probably looks pretty familiar. Now, because we don't have unlimited time today, I did pre-create an itinerary to add to this group booking page. So I'm going to use our library to find it now. And we're going to look for Fiji, bring it on in. There we go. I'm going to start from this proposal, and it's going to bring in all the details I've already pre-created for this Fiji group. So we have things on here like our hotel options or package options. We have activities. It's all set to go. Once you have your itinerary all built out, you can head back up to this yellow banner at the top of the screen. Use that little view icon to get back to your editing screen. All right. So our itinerary is all set to go. From here, there's a few more tricks. You can head to the pricing tab. And when you go to add your packages and extra options, you'll be able to give your packages a name. So we'll say King Suite for this one. And you'll be able to connect an item directly from that itinerary. So it's going to bring in that description. And again, name of the game is saving you time. So we think this does that really well. We'll be able to look through the items added to the itinerary and then select the one we're looking for, which is King Suite. Add in available until date. Let's say November 1st. Give it a price. Deposits. And final payment due date in order to save it in place. We'll say December 1st. Perfect. Save. And you can keep doing that with as many packages as you need. We also have the ability to do the same connection process through the extra options. So if we add an item here, put in the name, so we'll say Sailing Adventure for this one. Find that item in our group itinerary, connect it, add in the price, that available until dates. Scroll on down. There we go. Save it. And boom, done. So a lot of time to be saved in this pricing section specifically by using that group itinerary feature. Now I'm going to show you what a fully completed one looks like as a group booking page. It's the same information, but just a little bit more complete. So I'm going to head over to my group booking page now, which we can see here. So again, we're bringing in that same gorgeous proposal and itinerary feel that you're already used to and adding it to this group booking page experience. Your clients are going to have 3 options to book throughout the process. So the very first one is up here at the top. We have this book a package button, which will take them to the next screen automatically. But then we have your gorgeous itinerary ready to go. Your clients will have the opportunity to move through the booking process at any point through the items themselves as well that are connected through that itinerary. And then at the bottom of the screen, they have one last option to go ahead and start that booking process. So many, many opportunities to capture that lead and get them through that process. Now, once your clients are booked, it's going to look a little like this. You'll have those trips automatically created in your group, ready to go. And those details are going to be added, those extra options, the package pricing, and they'll have access to that group itinerary moving forward. One more thing that I want to point out about group booking pages that has received a little bit of a facelift is we do have the ability to change your payment schedule a little bit more easily in this payment details section. So down here underneath payment schedule, you have the ability to display that deposit and final payment or offer monthly payments or custom payment schedules based on that deposit that's paid. So you can choose to have monthly or that custom payment schedule. Choose how you want those payments broken up by that percentage. And what that looks like, if we keep going through this booking process, Continue to traveler info, put in a quick fake name like Miss Jane Doe, and continue to payment. You're going to be able to see that custom payment schedule is going to be listed underneath here. So if you have that option selected for the custom payment schedule, it'll break up all of those payments down here. Right now, we just have a deposit and final payment. Another great thing that has to do with the group booking page is we've added a little bit of an extra tool. Let me head back over here to our group status tab. So previously, if your clients booked through a group booking page and they forgot to add on an extra item, like an excursion, they would have to go through the process of maybe having a manual invoice created for them or adding that detail to their invoice. But now you can do this straight from the group status tab. So we have our travelers that are listed here that have booked through my group booking page on the group status tab. And if I want to add on any additional excursions or anything they might have missed the first time around when they were booking, I'll use this three-dot menu just to the right, edit, and then I'll be able to add and remove items like our sailing adventure or shopping day transfer, and that's automatically going to update their invoice. So no more manually updating anything on the invoice if your clients want to participate or not participate in a certain activity that they've booked. Now I've got a lot of great guides on all of the things that we just talked about, so I'm going to go ahead and share them all in the chat. But while I do so, how's everyone feeling? It's so good to see the chat. Everyone's so active. Hello. I haven't had an opportunity to peek my head in here, and I love all the emoji reactions. And again, just posting some guides in the chat based off of our group updates for you to explore. Perfect. All right, folks. So we are going to move into proposals and itineraries next. Those are two of our bigger features in TravelJoy as well, and they saw some exciting changes over the last few months. So let me get rid of a few tabs here so we can have a nice clean experience. There we go. Head back to our dashboard and head back to our single trip here. Now, if you're not familiar with the difference between the two features, itineraries and smart proposals, a smart proposal allows your clients to approve your suggested travel plans and also gives you access to tools like accepting payments or credit card authorizations upon approval, or options where your clients can have the ability to choose between things like hotels or entire destinations even. Itineraries are the finished product, so it uses the same builder as our smart proposal tool. However, this feature does not require approval and is a straightforward, this is the plan option. Now, one of the best things about these features is when your client approves a smart proposal, it's turned into an itinerary automatically. I'll be using a smart proposal example to highlight some of the changes we've seen in the tools over the summer. So I'm going to create a new smart proposal, or actually head into one I already have created here. There we go. All right, so the first big update that I want to point out happens to be in our settings tab over here on the right-hand side. You can always get to it from that settings button. And we're headed to the pricing tab. Now, we talked about this in our last What's New at TravelJoy webinar, but we've added a little bit of a fun detail here. So for smart proposals where your payments are turned off, but you're still displaying pricing, or on smart proposals where you're accepting credit card authorizations, you can now change the currency that is displayed on the smart proposal. So that's available here underneath this currency dropdown. So if you are interested in learning a little bit more, again, I'm going to post some guides towards the end of this section. We also have a slight edit to a flight item. So previously, if you had any changes occur to a flight that was live tracked through your smart proposal or itinerary, that would not show up until about 3 days prior to your client's departure. We understood that was a little confusing, so we've actually extended that amount of time. So if any changes do occur to your client's flight 6 months before their departure, those details will change automatically within TravelJoy. So less worrying about if everything is up to date on your end. Another thing that we've added has to do with this option section up here. So this is, again, our ability to offer clients choices. Now, previously, when you offered options, your clients had to choose one or the other, but now you have the ability to offer multiple options to be selected. So in this option section over here, you have that opportunity to choose whether or not you want your clients to accept one option or multiple options, giving you a little bit more wiggle room to really create the experience that you want. We also have a new ability to save entire sections to your smart proposal. So I did see someone in the chat earlier say we can save entire proposals to our library. Yes, that is a fun feature. You can do that for any proposal or itinerary automatically. It's already saved in there for you. But this new feature, if you click on a section and head up to this three-dot menu just at the top right, you have this Add to Library button. So now this entire section is going to be available within your library. I'll just go ahead and refresh the screen so you can see it there. So that way, if you have a certain way that you like to set up your sections, you have them ready to go, you can just drag and drop them in a new proposal, and it's going to pull in all those details in that section. Awesome. All right. And then last but not least, we have the ability to change item types. So I'm going to head down to this item. My proposal is looking a little messy here. Apologies for that. So if you need to change your item for whatever reason, say this one here I made as a general, but I want to change it into an activity, you can now do so using that same three-dot menu up at the top right of that item. So the same process you would take to add an item to the library, but instead we can change the item type to any of our items available in the Smart Proposal. I'm going to change it to activity, and here we have it. We can add in further details about the activity itself, edit the description, but now we see that item has changed for us automatically. A couple more guides coming your way in the chat. And as a reminder, if you do have questions today, please be sure to post them in the questions tab. It's just below the chat bot. We want to make sure that you get the answers that you're looking for. It's that little question mark in a circle just below that chat box, and we can go ahead and have someone answer those questions for you or touch on them a little later on. All right. Now we're going to switch gears once more and talk a little bit about our forms. Now, our forms feature is a powerful tool that allows you to collect the information you need for both the client's trip and their profile moving forward. One update we've made to this feature, which will be incredibly helpful if you find that sometimes you need to fill out that form on your client's behalf, can be found when sending the form using that blue Create button and Form. You can select that form that you'd like to send to your client, but instead of sending it by email, you use that blue Next button and choose to fill out on the client's behalf. This will allow you to fill it out as if you are the client, and those details will be saved to their trip and profile, if applicable, moving forward. Again, we have a great guide on that from our Help Center, which you will have access to after today's session. It'll be included on that recording sent. Perfect. Now, remember when I mentioned at the beginning of today's webinar, Mark from the engineering team will be joining us. He'll be sharing an exciting new feature update, and I'm going to go ahead and invite him on screen now to give you a sneak peek into the future of TravelJoy Forms.
Hello. Hi, yeah, I'm Mark. I'm the head of special projects at TravelJoy, based in Chicago. And I've been with TravelJoy since the early days. It's been almost 7.5 years. It's been quite a ride. I hope you've seen a few improvements during that time. So yeah, we're going to demo some new beta features for forms. So I looked into some data, and I was like, how many forms are submitted actually on TravelJoy in a given day? And it's actually thousands of forms, which is pretty impressive. So you guys are all collecting a lot of data. So, and some forms are pretty simple, single selection and a signature, but other ones can be super complex, dozens of inputs, and these just can be cumbersome for folks to fill out. So we're going to show you a couple new features here. The first one will be pages. And then the second will be conditional logic. So let me show you a quick demo. Oh, sorry. Here, share this window. Okay, cool. I've definitely never presented before, so. So yeah, for the first one, so let's talk about pages. So I have this client inquiry form here, and it's pretty long. As for their name, their address, things about their trip, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Let's just take a look at what the client would actually see here. So I've got my form link, and I'm going to click the preview button. So again, yeah, long. I'm just scrolling down here. It's going to take me a while to get through this. So the first feature we're going to introduce is pages. So we have a new button here, page. We're just going to take this, drag this in. We've got page 1 here. We'll take in maybe after their address and everything, another one, and then we have a third page here. We're able to edit what we want to call the previous and next buttons. If you don't like that verbiage, you can definitely change that. So I'm just gonna hit save here, come back to my preview, hit refresh. Oh wow, this is much easier to read. Okay, I feel less overwhelmed filling out this form during this, this webinar. That's great. Okay, let's try to just go forward. Yes, of course we need this email here. So now we can move past that page and then we can submit this form. And that's just great. So, much more digestible in the shorter page format. And then you see when I go to our responses here, still all the fields are there just as we expected, even though the client only saw a more chunked up view of the form as they filled it out. So hopefully that will definitely help. Likewise, sometimes you have forms where you just don't need all the information based on other answers to other questions. So here I have a pretty simple form. Maybe I'm just gathering details about the client's departure. And I get their airport and need to know, are they only going to be traveling domestically or internationally? And then I want their passport, but I really only need their passport if they're going to travel internationally. If they're domestically, they can use their nice real ID to get it done. So let's bring in our new conditional logic component. So again, relatively straightforward here. So when a field, so international travel, oops, click correctly, is equal to, let's go and see what this value is here. It's international. Then we'll show our passport photo. So you can see when I filled in this passport page element here, it marked this as hidden. So this field is going to be hidden by default. And then if they select international, then we'll be able to make it move forward. So let's hit save on this guy, go to our preview. Great, so we don't see the passport photo thing, but if I were to select international here, it appears, oh wait, no, I actually want to travel domestic, then it disappears. So that's great. So yeah, those are the two new features that we've been working on. These are not totally ready for production, but we'd love to start getting feedback earlier rather than later. So I will share a link to a form. You can give me your information and we'll get you added to a beta group going forward. So I'll pass it back to Caitlin.
Awesome. Thank you, Mark. All right. Now, if you use direct invoices to collect your planning fees, you're likely used to clicking that planning fee checkbox, which you can see down here at the bottom of, let me go and share my screen. That would be helpful. There we go. Perfect. Here we go. All right. So that planning fee checkbox that you can see on my screen here, you're probably used to checking it if you are charging a planning fee right now. This checkbox allows those funds to go directly to your bank account when your client completes their payment on this invoice. However, if you forget to check that checkbox, you will find yourself needing to complete a withdrawal from the trip or group funds tab. We've created an easier way of making planning fee invoices, which you can find from that blue create button in your client's trip, and selecting invoice planning fee. This is going to pre-populate your invoice template for your planning fee, and it already has that checkbox checked. So you can never forget it. It's ready to go. You can send this off to your client, and those funds will be off to your bank account when they are collected. So we do have another guide that I'm going to share about the planning fee in the chat. Perfect. And then let's go ahead and talk about another update that happened with invoices. I'm going to make a quick change over to a supplier invoice. And that'll be here. Now we've created an icon that will show within your payment schedule that'll make it easier for you to determine when you've marked a payment as paid as opposed to when a client has authorized that payment. So we have this icon down here. You might be able to see it. It's probably a little small on your screen. Let's see if I can make it a little bit bigger here. There we go. So it's two money icons talking to one another. This is the marked as paid. So when your client does authorize a payment and you mark it as paid on your end, you can go ahead and follow those steps. And it reloads. We do see that there's an authorization there. So it may not have worked exactly how I was expecting it to, but that's okay. Happens. We're live right now. But as you can see, that is what occurred on the last one. We have that marked as paid here. So if you ever do see this icon, you'll know that you mark that as paid for your future records. And again, let's go ahead and share a guide for you. All righty. Next, let's talk a little bit about messaging from your email thread. So a couple, again, small but mighty updates here. You do have the ability to resend a message, and you had that ability before, but there is a new way of going about it that gives you a little bit more customization. So from the messages thread, if you scroll down to the email that you would like to resend, and I'll make this just slightly smaller now that we're out of that one page, there we go. You can use this three-dot menu in the right-hand corner of the screen to edit and resend this message. All right, so it's going to open up that message so you can edit it right away. So if you need to make any changes, you absolutely can. And then when you're ready to send it off, you can use that blue send button and it'll appear in the message thread. But the other update is going to occur in just a few moments, so I want to make sure that I point it out. You now have the ability to unsend a message within 10 minutes. So when I use this blue send button, we should see a little green message pop up here that allows me to undo in the bottom left, and it'll unsend that message. So again, within 10 seconds, if you sent a message and you went, oh, did not mean to do that, you will see that undo button at the bottom left-hand side of the screen. So again, I'm going to share a guide in the chat if you're interested in learning a little bit more about that. And we hope you enjoy that feature as much as we do. Now, before we wrap up today, we want to give you a quick glimpse into a few of the things we're incredibly excited about. First up, I'll be asking Andreas to join us on screen for a look into a bigger, bolder experience through TravelJoy.
All right. Thanks so much for the intro, Caitlin. Hi, everyone. It's great to be back. My name's Andreas. I'm based in Brooklyn, New York. On the product team here at TravelJoy, I've been here for about 2.5 years now. And today I'm going to talk a little bit about something new we're exploring. So here at TravelJoy, we've always been, committed to supporting advisors at every stage of your journey, whether you're just starting out or whether you've been, in the industry for decades. So, for example, we heard that one-size-fits-all pricing wasn't making sense for those of you who may be new to the industry. And we wanted to support you as new entrepreneurs and make sure you have access to the right tools early without price being a barrier. So to support those new to industry folks, we launched our starter plan just a few months ago. Gives you access to the essentials so you can hit the ground running. On the other side of the spectrum, we've been proud to grow alongside so many of you who've been with TravelJoy, since 2018, well before my time. And our standard pro plan has given you the tools you needed to serve more clients, to build up your systems. And many of you who, back then were brand new advisors are now booking several million in travel every year. And as businesses have scaled, the way you use TravelJoy and what you need from it has evolved. You've told us that, once your revenue hits a certain point, you need more control, more flexibility, more powerful tools to keep scaling. What works at $100,000 in bookings, really looks very different when you're managing $1 million or more. And that's why we're introducing something new, a more advanced offering for a select segment of advisors with larger, more complex businesses. Now, while we think that starter and pro, for the, I would say, vast majority of advisors remain the right fit, and trust me, we have plenty more exciting updates coming your way in the months ahead. This advanced plan, this may be for those of you who've hired assistants, who are managing, huge client pipelines, who even considered engagements with software developers to build custom solutions. We've already been speaking with many of you to see what your needs look like. And here is some of what we're hearing is most important. Connecting TravelJoy with other tools you use through integrations like Zapier and an API, managing client conversations across multiple channels, email, SMS, etc., in one streamlined place, sending marketing emails to lists of hundreds or thousands of clients at once, and getting access to more custom, dedicated support options and trainings for you and your team. So for those of you operating at this higher level of complexity, if this plan sounds like it could be a good fit, I'm going to drop a link in the chat to a Google form you can fill out if you'd like to stay in the loop and get updates as we develop this. Thank you all very, very much. And with that, I'm going to turn things back over to Caitlin.
Awesome. Thank you, Andreas. All right, now one last preview as a thank you for attending today's webinar. Over the past year, we've been rolling out powerful AI features to help you save time, like Magic Importer, which so many of you now use every day to turn PDFs into editable itinerary items in seconds. That was just the beginning. Today, you're getting an exclusive first look at our next big leap forward, Itinerary Copilot. Copilot will be your AI-powered assistant that will take the busy work out of building proposals and itineraries, so you can go from ideas to a polished draft in seconds, not hours. You'll be able to speak to Copilot in plain language to instantly generate a complete TravelJoy itinerary based on the details you've already planned for your client. So for example, you might say, start an itinerary from September 23rd to the 26th, flying in on UA 970 and staying at the Hotel Artemide. And just like that, Copilot will draft the itinerary, complete with photos and descriptions, fully structured and ready for your review. You can then give it feedback, have it move things around, and make adjustments for you. No more clicking to add items one by one, dragging things around, and copying and pasting a ton of different details. We believe this is going to be a game changer for advisors, and we'd love for you to be a part of the journey from the very beginning. That's why we're hosting a special launch webinar on Monday, October 20th, led by our CEO and co-founder, Dio Esho. He'll share TravelJoy's broader vision for AI and give you a first look at how Itinerary Copilot can transform the way you work. You can register for that webinar today, and I'll be posting a link to do so in the chat. All right, folks, how are we feeling? That is the majority of our features we'll be going over today. So the next portion of the webinar will be going over a few questions. And there is that registration. It's going to go fast, but it is in there. You might have to scroll up. Again, we've been answering some questions in the questions tab, and I did notice there's a lot of future feature requests, which we love, and we're definitely going to document what you've shared with us today. Some of the questions that I'm going to be focusing on are questions about features that were presented today, or a feature you may not have known about that you saw today that has been with TravelJoy for a bit. So I'm going to focus on some of those questions. We may end a little bit early today, just giving you a heads up, but we're going to try to get through as many of those questions as we can. All right, so Rhonda asked this first question that I saw, is there an app? Yes, there is. There is a TravelJoy app for your clients. I'm going to go ahead and switch screens really quickly, so that way I can share with you a little bit more about that app. So thank you for your patience while I do so. I'm going to be sharing our help center so you can see a little bit more about that as well. All right. So we do have a guide about our app that is in the help center that you can see here. Your clients can take any smart proposal or itinerary with them on the go. And if you'd like to learn a little bit more, a guide will be in the chat. All right, perfect. The next question that we have here. So I'm seeing a lot of folks asking about when our opportunities feature will go live. Very, very soon, but no exact date yet. You will see an alert on your TravelJoy dashboard when this feature goes live, but we love the excitement. All right, we have another question here. I know that we can save items from our library or our itinerary into our library, but is there a way to save an entire itinerary to our library? So yes, there absolutely is. If you're not familiar with this feature, I'm happy to go ahead and share this with you. So by default, any of the itineraries that you create or any of the smart proposals that you create are going to be available within a smart proposal or itinerary library. If you head to that library and type in your proposal's name, you can go ahead and just add it in there. So there's nothing that you have to do on your end to add that entire itinerary or proposal, and it's not going to affect the original proposal in any way. It's basically just making a copy and paste of it into a new proposal. And I did see someone just asked in the chat, we typically don't answer questions in the chat and try to keep them in the questions tab, but you will get all of the links that I have shared today in the chat in the recording email to you after today's webinar concludes. So I do want to make sure that we make note of that. All right, Natasha asked planning fees. We can select which service it's for, destination, wedding, planning fee versus group or general travel fee. So what you can do is you can go ahead and update your invoice default item if you'd like to. So underneath templates and invoices, that original planning fee invoice is going to pull your default planning fee down here. But I believe Mark is in the chat still. Mark, if you wouldn't mind confirming, can you change that item to a different invoice item when you are creating that? planning fee invoice? I see, Lauren, thank you. Okay, so I'll wait and see if Mark does get back to us on that. If not, please feel free to reach out to us at hello@traveljoy.com. We'll be sure to get you that answer. It looks like a few folks have tried and maybe it did not work, so I'd like to get that confirmation and then answer that. Sweet. All right. So Joanna asked, did we have 10 seconds or 10 minutes from the time we send an email to recall? That is 10 seconds. So we don't want to wait too long to send that email, just so you know that your client is getting it. So that 10 seconds happens. And again, I'll show you what that process looks like from that trip. We'll go ahead and open it up. We'll do a little test message here. Use that blue send button. And you'll see there's a timer that appears on this green banner down here on the left that lets you know how much time you have left to undo that send. So it's about 10 seconds there. Perfect. All right, and another question here. Can we create fields in client profiles so those automatically update when we send them a form? Absolutely can. This is more of an advanced feature that we do offer. I'm going to go ahead and share a guide for it in the chat. Let's go ahead and find that guide here. So we do offer custom client profile fields, which are fields that you can create that can be added to forms and then store that information in your client's profile card. So if you are interested in learning a little bit more, I'm going to go ahead and post a guide in the chat, and then I'll show you very quickly how that's done. Custom. All right, there's that. So basically, it's coming from your actual contacts tab. You're going to head to this three-dot menu here, and you're going to edit client profile fields. So these are going to be those fields that you see when you're building a form that have that blue tag for your client's profile card. So these allow you to customize them a little bit further, add details to those particular sections, or add completely customized fields. Then when you're ready, once those have been added, you can use the next guide that we have to link those profile fields to a form. So I'll go ahead and post that in the chat as well. Awesome. Great question. All righty. And there's lots of questions here. I've had my fellow colleagues just keeping an eye out on some that we could highlight live. So I'm going to take a peek and see if there's anything that I can pull out very quickly. As a reminder, we may not be able to answer everyone's questions today, even if we end a little bit early, but we want to make sure your questions are answered. So I'll spend some time trying to answer these in the questions tab after we conclude, but you're also welcome again to reach out to us at hello@traveljoy.com or use the chat button in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen on TravelJoy. And we're happy to get that started for you as well. All right. See, and seeing a lot of feature requests. We love it. We want to make sure those are recorded. So we'll be making note of them. But again, please reach out to us at hello@traveljoy.com so we can get that to our product team. All right. Ooh. So again, lots of feature requests, not anything that I can answer or speak to right now. So it's just taking me a few moments to see if there's anything else here that we can highlight in regards to today's features. Ooh, this is a great question. How do you mark specific must-fill items on your client's intake form? So this can be done by heading to your templates tab and forms. You can head into your client inquiry form. And then for the questions you'd like to make required that cannot be skipped, simply go edit this form question. So using the little edit icon just to the top right and mark it as required. So as long as that checkbox is checked, you'll see that little red asterisk, which means that they cannot proceed without that being filled out. Big pro tip with our forms, if you make any changes, just be sure to save them. That save is at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. All right. See here. And lots of questions today. Again, just kind of sorting through them to see what we can answer live here. Ooh, lots of great questions. Again, regarding some really nice feature requests, we definitely want to make sure that those are going to be recorded. Okay. One thing to note, Amy asked a good question about group booking pages. So let me see if I can go ahead and pull that up here. So when the group booking page is linked to the group itinerary, and then you want to clean up the group itinerary later and not include all the room options, how do you keep the booking pages available if you remove the room type? So those do need to stay in place in order to keep that room type available. So unfortunately, there's not a way to remove those from the group itinerary, but that is a great question. Definitely something that we should consider, but there is not a way right now. So thank you, Amy, for raising that. It's a great question. All right, folks, just checking in with my team here. All right. Perfect. So it looks like we are going to go ahead and come to a close. And as mentioned, if you didn't get an answer to your question, or if you have a feature request you'd like to make sure that is recorded, we're going to do our best to get these sent off to our product team. But please reach out to us at hello@traveljoy.com or reach out to us using the blue chat button. I'm going to go ahead and start to round out the webinar now. So giving you a few resources to consider and have at your disposal as you're using TravelJoy, and how to keep on top of all that's new at TravelJoy. So I wanted to take a moment to thank my fellow teammates and for helping to provide answers to your questions in the questions tab, but also to you for bringing such amazing, thoughtful questions and requests and joining us today. I want to go ahead and close things out by going over our Help Center, which you've already seen a little bit of. Your Help Center is available over here on the left-hand side at the very bottom of the screen. That's going to open the Help Center up for you. I'm going to go ahead and post that in the chat so that you have it at your disposal as well. See here, grab that. Perfect. All right, so this is filled with hundreds of guides that are for you to use that cover every feature that we have in TravelJoy, or nearly every feature that we have in TravelJoy. But while we're here, I also want to show you how to stay on top of all of our new updates. So down here, we have our What's New with TravelJoy guide. We have a few archives from past years, but highly recommend bookmarking this one if you want to keep on top of those updates. We try to update it at least weekly, so that way you have a clear idea of what's new and happening. We also have our live chat option. So if you do need to get in touch with the TravelJoy team, I've mentioned it a couple of times, but if you would like to have a live chat session, we are available 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday, using our little chat button here. It's a little hard to see since I'm zoomed in next to that save button. We highly recommend just taking it out for a spin. We have our friendly bot, TJ, who is there to help. He can be pretty friendly, but he doesn't know everything. So if you need to talk with a live representative, you can request to do so. If we're not available, we will go ahead and transfer that into an email and get you a response as soon as possible. You can also reach out to us at hello@traveljoy.com, and I'll go ahead and post that link in the chat to that email for you. And then I do want to go ahead and call out all three of the links that were shared today. So we have a couple of betas and that registration link. And I'm going to ask Matt to go ahead and post those links in the chat for you. As a reminder, we have those beta interest forms. So if you're interested in joining that, please make sure you take a look at that, as well as our premium offering. And then our Itinerary Copilot launch webinar will be on October 20th at 3 p.m. Eastern. And that link to register is in there as well. So thank you all again for joining us today. As mentioned, you will receive a recording of today's session by email about 5 minutes after the session comes to a close. I think I speak on behalf of our entire team in saying that these new features would not be possible without you and your feedback regarding what you need to successfully run your business using TravelJoy. Your suggestions are always welcome, so please do not hesitate to share them with us using that blue chat button or by emailing us at hello@traveljoy.com. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and look forward to seeing you next time. Take care.